Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of the Rocking Midlife podcast. And today's a bit of a special one. Well, for me, anyhow. I turned 57 today. And whenever I have a birthday, I'm one of these people that it seems to just churn things up. I don't go into a big funk, but it makes me think about where I'm at, where I'd hoped I'd be at this age, and where I want to be going forward. So I wrote down a little list of just reflections for today. And I'm going to do a blog post about it after I jump off this recording and just put my thoughts out there of what my reflections are on turning 57. So stay with me and let me know if you agree with my reflections or you'd have some more that you would add. So welcome back. I'm Kat Coluccio. I'm an author. I'm the author actually of 21 Hacks to Rock Your Midlife and the upcoming Your Midlife Side Hustle. And I'm also the host of the Rocking Midlife community and the podcast that you're tuning into right here. And I just want to say a big hi and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And please, wherever you are, make sure to leave a great review, subscribe, ring that notifications bell if you're on YouTube so that other midlifers can find this channel and just get encouraged by all the amazing people that I get the privilege of interviewing. But today is a little different. Today is all about me. That sounds a bit selfish, doesn't it? But it's my birthday, and I think like a lot of people find, when it's your birthday, it becomes a bit of a time of reflection, particularly as you get older. And as I stare down the very slippery slope towards turning 60 in just 3 years, oh my gosh, that's the first time I've actually said that out loud. So join me as I share some of my reflections on turning 57. So here's the very first one. There's one thing I write about a lot, whether it's in my blog or in all of my books, and that is when you hit midlife. And to me, that midlife season is anywhere from your 40s right up to wherever, really, because it's more a state of mind than anything. But there comes a point where you actually need to let go of the past. And I think a big reflection for me as I stand here on my birthday today is that I need to honor the past I've had, the things I've been able to experience, the people I've known, the good things, the not so good things. Because let's face it, you don't get to midlife and you haven't experienced a few bad things, the bottom of that roller coaster. There comes a point, though, where you need to honor that time, remember those people that were dear to you, but then leave it there. Because it's too easy as you get older to get so caught up in thinking about what you had, about the opportunities you didn't take, about the things that you didn't do, and becoming regretful and weighed down and unable to truly appreciate the present and still look forward to your future. So the first step for me in hitting my 57th birthday today is actually taking the time to go, I honor my past. I'm grateful for the experiences I had. Some of them hurt, some of them weren't so nice, but I'm still grateful that I had those experiences. They helped shape who I am today. But I'm not living in that past. I'm actually determining now to embrace my present and to look forward to the future, because I still have hopes and dreams. And I think when you still have a passion for life and a passion for what could become, of what you could do, that's going to help keep you young at heart. And that's going to help keep you excited and living life to the full. My second reflection for my 57th birthday, and that is that aging's normal. I have a wonderful interview coming up with a lady named Jack Perez very soon, and she runs a business called Cool Life. And I'm one of the thought leaders that writes an article in there every month, mainly around decluttering your life. And her mission is to help people realize that aging is normal. We don't actually have to be so caught up on looking like those rich people on Beverly Hills, all those Real Housewives with all the full-on tweaking and everything. It's actually normal to age, and it's good. It's part of that regular cycle, and we get to just embrace who we are. Now, sure, if you want to be healthier or if you want to dye your hair or you want to get tweaked or get fillers or whatever, go for it. That's great. There's no right or wrong here. The main thing I'm saying is, are you at peace with who you are inside? Or are you trying to desperately fight what's really happening in real life? And it is that you're getting older. And you know something? Aging is a privilege. I was sitting up last night just having a hot chocolate and just thinking about life after the family went to bed. And it hit me that I was actually now older than my closest friend, the woman who was like a sister to me, who passed away in 2019 on the morning of my son's wedding. I know, her timing was amazing. And it just struck me that what she was missing and what I'm now having the privilege of experiencing in being this age and looking forward to many, many, many more years. It's a privilege to be this age. So many people don't make it. I've lost a number of friends actually, and I'm sure you have too. And it's just sad on so many levels. And if anything, it should make us not have like survivor's guilt, but it should spur us on to realize that this is a real privilege to be alive at this time, to be alive at this age, to have the experience we have, and to be still able to create new experiences. So embrace your life. It's a privilege. You've gotten to live this long. You may have another 20, 30, 40 years ahead of you. Embrace it and live it to the fullest. Number 3, this is one that I am so passionate about. I've actually written about this one, I think, in all of my books, and I've spoken about it so many times. And that is, just because you're older, don't think it's about fading away, because your voice still matters. And what I mean by that is, when we hit midlife, a lot of women realize that, we sort of disappear. We don't have men necessarily, getting whiplash, turning around to whistle at us or acknowledge us. Not that that's politically correct anymore, but you know what I mean. We kind of disappear into the crowd, and we live in a very youth orientated culture, don't we, where it's all the beautiful young models, or even in our own age group, the most of the emphasis and most of the limelight is on, the genetically amazing, like the Cindy Crawfords and the Elle Macphersons. Us ordinary women in particular, we just tend to, disappear into the background. But you know something? It's actually quite liberating, because it's like all of a sudden, all those years that you were crippled worrying about other people, what they thought of you, how you measured up in looks or anything, it doesn't actually matter anymore. It's time to get rid of that silly judgment that we've put ourselves under, because chances are they weren't even thinking about you at all, which is usually the case, and realize that we can enjoy just fully being ourselves, but at the same time still realizing that our voices still matter. And I say this to women who are still wanting to learn how to paint, or learn how to sing, or go onto the theatre, go onto the stage for the first time ever, or take up a new sport, or get on stage at a bodybuilding competition, or write that book. And they think, but who would want to read this? Who would want to watch me? Who would want to look at my art? And I want to say to you that your work, what you bring to the world, is still just as valid. You may not stick out physically amongst all the beautiful young things out there, but the power of what you bring as far as your depth and your experience is so important. Your voice still matters. So find opportunities to let that voice shine in the world with whatever medium it is that you use. Okay, number 4. My 4th reflection on turning 57, and that is, keep setting goals. And that goes with everything I've already said, but it's so easy when we get to this age to go, well, can't be bothered anymore. I just want to sit back, put my feet up and just chill out. Now, you know something? If you can do that and feel fulfilled, go for broke. But from my experiences in working with women and talking to women for so many years now, most of us still have that desire to do something purposeful, something that fills our bucket and makes a difference to others. And that only comes from setting goals that keep us pushing forward, that keep us trying, that keep us not becoming passive and watching our life just drift past. I recently had to submit an article. And as I did, I said to the women I was submitting it to, oh my gosh, is it just me? Or does it seem like this last month flew past? I felt like I was submitting last month's article like literally 2 days ago. And their comments were, yep, it gets faster. The clock seems to tick so much faster. Once you hit your 40s, it speeds up a bit. Hit your 50s, speeds up a bit. Hit 55, start looking towards what's coming. Man, it is starting to race. And that's why it can be so easy just to let life just throw you around and to just passively kind of coast along because it's kind of just speeding away. And my challenge for any woman listening in who's feeling like they're in that place where they're just kind of just rolling with the punches is go start dreaming again. And don't just dream, but start setting yourself some goals. Start working out what it is do you want to achieve in your next few months, in your next few years. Keep setting benchmarks that push you forward so that you don't end up in your 70s or your 80s, and this is my biggest fear, I should say, full of regret for the things that you didn't do. Okay, my fifth and last reflection on turning 57, and that is that it's time to step into your spotlight. Now, this is something I've spoken on so many times, and it's actually the last hack in my book. And that's because as women, we need to now own that leading lady role in our own lives. So many years we tended to abdicate it to others, particularly when you're child raising. It's all kind of about your kids and about keeping food on the table and about doing all these things and making your boss happy and trying to keep your partner happy and keeping your kids clothed and dressed and fed. And it's so easy to lose ourselves. And I really want to encourage you with the same thing that I need to keep encouraging myself, and that is it's time to own your spotlight. There'll never be another you. It's your chance to be the leading lady of your life, to make the choices that you need to make, to step in and be the person that you've always wanted to be. In fact, I'm going to read you just a little section of this. In this book, I talked about how I won a music scholarship when I was 11, and I won a scholarship to go to this high school, which was 2 hours over the other side of Perth where I lived. It was an enormous amount of commuting, and I did that from age 11 onwards for 5 years with my instruments under my arms. And I used to die whenever I had to perform. I'd get on stage and my leg would be shaking and I'd be so nervous, and I would just be a basket case. And I'd come out of music exams, instrumental exams or performances in tears because I was just a wreck. But I kept doing it. I kept getting up there and putting myself through it. And this is why. I'll read you this little section. Why? Because even in my youth, I instinctively knew that I only had one shot of creating the life I wanted. And that is still the case today. There are no do-overs. If you let fear and trembling prevent you from walking out on the stage of your life, be it as a writer, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, in whatever you choose to do, you risk never having that opportunity again. If your second season, your midlife years and beyond are to truly rock, you need to step into your spotlight and own your stage now. Now, I'm not talking about narcissism. I'm not talking about making everything about you and pushing everyone else away. But I am talking about you being the leading lady in your own life and owning that spotlight and running all requests and all ideas and all opportunities through that filter of what it is, those dreams and those goals that you've set for yourself. Do they mesh together? And let that influence your decision making going forward. So they're my reflections on turning 57. I'm determining to continue to honor the past, but embrace the future. I'm living with the joy that aging is a privilege, and I have the privilege of still being here with many, many more years, I hope, to come. I've realized that my voice still matters, and I want to encourage you that your voice still matters too, however you want to express it. And in that, I'm enjoying being invisible. I'm not a genetic Cindy Crawford. I'm not a model type. I'm not a glamour girl. I don't care that I blend in, but wow, I love being me, authentically me. And I want to encourage you, keep setting those goals, keep dreaming, and make every day count and own the spotlight and be the leading lady of your life. So however old you are, I hope that there's something in there that encourages you And I would love to hear what you would add to that. What are your reflections when you reach certain milestone birthdays or days in your life? Drop a note, let me know below. And I encourage you to go out and rock your midlife for all it's worth, so that there is no regret at the end of your days. Make sure to subscribe, click that bell, leave a review, and let me know your thoughts, won't you?